Now, live from the 13 Now Digital News Desk, this is the Friday Night Fever Afterburn, sponsored by Beef O'Brady's.
You're watching Friday Night Fever!
I think Evan said it best right there. You're watching Friday Night Fever Afterburn. We are so excited to have you guys tonight. Week 11 of the season, which means it's also the final week of the regular season. Regular season is done now, which means playoffs. What's that? I hear someone knocking. Who is it?
They are here.
It's the playoffs. Knocking
here.
on the door.
I mean, we need to get Evan to intro us in.
I know.
For
Evan
every
is
show
my
because
new favorite.
He's got to be the
person.
ultimate hype man. I'm hyped just for this show because
Yeah.
of Evan right now.
Yeah.
You know, he could take my job this second. So, but yes.
I love it. I love it. Well,
Playoffs right around the corner.
Playoffs are literally next week, starting next week. So before we get into those scores, we did just mention playoffs, right? The regular season has just ended. Now, we had a lot of people ask this week, since Mosley was off, since Walton was off, we had a lot of people ask, you know, where's my team in the playoffs? Who's playing who? Do you know who Mosley's playing? We don't know officially. We can guess all we want. Sam and I can guess all we want, but we're not in the guessing business. We're in the news business, so we're going to give you the news. And those playoff brackets haven't come out yet. They come out officially now with all the games ended, right? For at least for the Panhandle, those brackets come out on Sunday. So we should know who everybody is taking on Sunday. And you'll have more on News 13 this weekend.
Right. And, I mean, certainly there's a lot of teams who are like, all right, they're a lock for the playoffs. They're a lock for the playoffs.
Yeah, we know.
They're going to be in there. Just wait.
I
promise we will have the brackets. We will have the seating. We will have it all.
Yeah.
I'll try to have it Sunday night.
There you go. There you go.
Friday night. Not Friday Night Fever. On News 13
on
this
News
weekend.
13 this weekend. There you go. And people are already saying Evan is so cute. Yes, Evan is adorable. We hope to have him introing more of our shows and everything because he is awesome. But let's get into those scores. Our biggest game of the week. Game of the week. The number one RPI ranked in Class 1A.
Not
Chiefland
anymore.
Indians. Not anymore. Well, they're still for tonight. They're still for tonight. The number one ranked Chiefland Indians in Class 1A took on the number 2 Bluntstown Tigers. But Bluntstown, I don't think is number 2 no more. They beat them 24-13. Sam, we're going to talk about this game, but I want to go through all the other scores because we have a lot of other fans on here tonight. I already see some scores going in the comments, so I'm going to get to all of them. But we're going to put a pin in Bluntstown because we are going to talk about it.
Trust me, we have plenty to talk about with this game.
We do. We have plenty to talk about.
Let's get to the other scores.
Definitely. I went over to Tommy Oliver where Rutherford snuck out a win over Bay. You know, the winning field goal by Jonathan Walker tonight, 39 yards. Not only did that put them ahead, they were tied in the third quarter. Not only did that put them ahead in the fourth over Bay, but then Chad Allgood had a second interception of the night to seal the deal. Bay was driving. Chad Allgood, honestly, got to shout out the Rams on this because they went and won this game and they won their last game against North Bay Haven, definitely trying to make a case for them to be in the playoffs. So, great job for the Rams tonight. We're going to go to the SSAC playoffs for a second where Sneads beat Liberty County, stopped those red-hot Bulldogs right in their tracks, said, no, you haven't taken on the Pirates yet, and Sneads beat them 17-7. So I think a really great win for Sneads, especially because Sneads has been dealing with some stuff this year with one of their best players going down at the beginning of the year.
Right, both of these teams, you know, are on some great win streaks. I believe Sneads started 2-2, Liberty started 1-1 or 2-1, you know, and have kind of won out since then. And, I mean, tonight they kind of just got to show their strength. Sneads capitalize off a couple big plays in the special teams. And as we see here, a 10-point victory over a very good Liberty County. Good. They're the Crossroads Cup champions over there, the Pirates. So big win for the Pirates.
Very, very true. And a big win for South Walton as well, beating Lighthouse Christian 41-6. South Walton is definitely a playoff team. We've talked about them here before on the show. We're going to talk about them and break down that game a little more because there was something really cool that happened in that game. I'm teasing it right now. You're going to want to stick around till we chat about it to hear what that is. I'm looking at the comments tonight. Michelle was happy for South Walton High School, and Cade Roberts will I'm going to go into what Cade Roberts did in just a second, so don't take away my tease in the comments. Don't spoil it, everyone. John Brock says, Courtney is on the show. Blountstown should be number 1. I think you got to put Madison County at 1 until they lose a 1A game. Madison County beat Rickards tonight. Didn't know Madison County beat Rickards tonight. That's a great win for Madison County. But I'm only going off of what the RPI ranking state, which stated that Chiefland is number 1. Blountstown is number 2, and those RPI rankings go off of strength of schedule.
Right.
So Chiefland was number 1 because of strength of schedule. Blountstown's played some really tough teams this year, so they were number 2. Then number 3, Hilliard, right? Am I correct on that? Was Hilliard, and then number 4?
So in the last 3 weeks now, if we include today, they beat number 4 Baker. In RPI rankings, they beat number 4 Baker at home, and then last week in the semifinal of the SSAC North Florida Championship, they beat Hilliard, who was number 3. And now tonight, number 1. So 4, 3, and 1 in a span of 3 weeks. I mean, does your schedule get any harder than that?
Hey, I'm just saying, there's a real good case for them to be number 1. And right now, in those RPI rankings, the way they're doing them, they should be number 1. The way those RPI rankings are done, they should be number 1. So to just explain why I said that on the show for everybody, Brittany says, Blountstown deserves a title, a great, respectful team. Brittany, I agree. They're all great guys over there. Alan, what about Mosley? Mosley was off this week. Mosley was off this week, so they're getting a nice time of rest before those playoffs. So Matt says Sneeds and Liberty play again next Friday in first round of FHSA 1A playoffs. Matt, I wish I could tell you, yes, that's correct. We just don't know until it officially comes out. So right now it's a guessing game. It really is. Now, we can do the math and we can figure it out, but again, we want to wait till those officially come out, which are Sunday after everybody plays, because there are still teams that play on Saturday. Let's just be honest here. I saw a lot of changes in the schedule. There were teams that play on Saturday. So we're not going to confirm anything until Sunday when those brackets come out. Cottondale, let's move on. I think Cottondale, was Cottondale off this week or did they play this week? I can't remember. There it is. Cottondale unfortunately fell to Brantford tonight, 34-0. And Arnold fell to Northview as well, 49-27. But I did see at half it was tied.
It was.
Arnold hung in with Northview, which is a talented team. We saw them play Bay just a week ago. We saw Northview play Bay, right? Am I right on that? So we got to definitely give them a shout out for hanging in there. Brian Chipley looks great. Chipley does look great. They took down Jay tonight, 39-0. Now Jay hasn't been the 1A team that it's been in the past. Had some struggles this year, and we've seen that. But even when Holmes County played them earlier in the year, I remember Coach telling me, "Hey, they're not a team to be overlooked. They really aren't." So for Chipley to go in there, put 39 points up on them, yes, huge win for the Tigers tonight as well. Lafayette took down Freeport 44-13. This was the Thursday night matchup. Mariana shut out North Bay Haven 20-0. So yeah, North Bay Haven, I know some people were, talking about North Bay Haven. Oh, sorry, their season ended. Yeah, North Bay Haven doesn't really have a great chance of going into the playoffs right now. So unfortunately, that is sad for them. But Port St. Joe taking down Dixie County 50-26. Port St. Joe, a great 1A team as well.
That right there is a statement victory.
Yes.
Because, not only are they the Big Bend Brawl champions of the SSAC, but Dixie County is a very good club. And they just to go in there and just on the road. Dominate.
Hey, Tiger Sharks going to be a team.
Speaking of RPIs, watch out for the Tiger Sharks.
Watch out for Port St. Joe. Baker took down Vernon 49-13. Wewa Hitchka with a shutout win over Graceville 54-0. Holmes County fell to Hilliard 34-7. We were just talking about Hilliard, that number 3 team in those RPI rankings. Bozeman takes down Williston 34-6, which is huge for Bozeman as well. I know some people were talking. I don't know if I'm going to. Dylan Davis says, show the Bozeman score. There's that Bozeman score, 34-6. I wish we could have gone to that game.
Right, and that rounds out the SSAC right there because that one is the Gulf Coast Cup. So now we've gone through the North Florida Championship, the Big Bend Brawl, the Crossroads Cup, and then Bozeman finishing out with the Gulf Coast Cup Championship. Big win there for them.
There you go. Okay, we have to make some people happy on our feed. I know we have a lot of South Walton fans. I see Phil Teza in the comments there, the South Walton head coach. Coach, congrats tonight, but we do have to talk about Cade Roberts. We do. Drum roll, please.
We do, and this is a young man deserving of all credit because, at the beginning of the season, we talked about, his commitment to USF.
Yep.
And he's been there for years, and he's been balling out for years. And as you see the record that we're about to talk about tonight,
yes,
you can see his hard work as finally, paying off.
Yep.
And a well-deserved honor.
Yeah. So
what was that record?
I got to tell you, Sam, if we can go to those highlights real quick of South Walton and Lighthouse Christian Spencer so people can see what I'm talking about. Cade Roberts, obviously wide receiver, a senior. This was senior night, too, so he got to break this record on senior night. But tonight, Cade Roberts, you'll see right here, he's going to number 5. There he is right there. But he broke the state record for most career receptions. And he had 245 coming into this game. The record was 252, so he needed 8 to break it, that 253 mark. He did. He beat it and then some. So we got to shout out to Cade Roberts. And that record, Sam, just so everybody knows, that record is not just in Class 4A. That record is not just for their class. It's for the entire state of Florida. So a player set it in 2017, set the record in 2017 in Venice, Florida. But now that record holder is in the Panhandle. It's Cade Roberts. I'm just so happy about this. So happy about this.
I mean, and who is more deserving? I mean, you have so many weapons on that offense that we talk about every single week.
We talk about Kemper Hodges.
Sure hand, the slot receiver, the speedy across the middle. He can do it all. You saw the touchdown catch that he had tonight. Sure hands, breaking the record.
And after breaking the record, I just want to say this. I believe I saw a tweet where after breaking the record, he went on to haul in a 50-yard scoring strike by from fellow receiver Pierce Spurlin on a reverse pass. So he's still doing it all. I mean, he just literally he broke the record and then some. So I don't know if Phil Tease is still on and he can tell me how many he actually got, how many his total is after tonight's game, how many he got in the game, because that was just so awesome to see it. So if Phil Teasy, you're still on, and you can tell us how many receptions Cade had in the game, so we can see where his record is, his career, because he still has the playoffs to go. That's the thing. He's still going to break the record, and we'll have to see by the end of his senior season this year, by the end of the playoffs, what he ends up with, so we can see what somebody has to beat.
and this is a team that has just been winning and winning and winning, and at 9-1 they've just continued to roll.
Amazing.
And obviously, probably one of the best offenses in all of the state of Florida, probably one of the top offenses in the country.
Yeah, seriously.
And I could see them making a deep run in the playoffs, and if he's averaging 5, 10, 15 sometimes receptions in these games, I mean, he's just going to keep adding to that total. And kind of enshrining his name in the state of Florida. Stat books for years.
I just don't think anyone's going to break that career reception record for a long time. I really don't. I really don't see it happening because he is just an electric talent. So, look. Shout out to Kay tonight. If he's watching, if Coach Tease is watching, if they're watching, shout out to you. You definitely deserve some love, some credit. And we'll talk about that some more on News 13 this weekend as well, right?
And I mean, if you're South Florida, if you're down in Tampa and, you have the chance in the next few years to get to one of their games, he's a lot of fun to watch. The Bulls are going to be very lucky to bring them in on their staff.
Oh, I bet they're cheering right now. They're like, yes, that's our receiver. That's our receiver. And someone said, I need him on my fantasy football team. Brian said that. Yeah, Brian, I need him on my fantasy football team too, to be honest with you. So I'm not looking too good. I think I can need a Cade Roberts boost.
Yeah, I don't even. We're just going to move on to the next topic because I don't want to talk about my fantasy team. High school football, we'll stick to that
I understand.
Tonight.
We'll stick to high school football tonight. Don't cry over here, Sam, on me. Sam, we got to talk about Bluntstown. We promised the people we would talk about Bluntstown.
Do.
So you went to this game. It was cold.
Yes, it was cold, as you can see here, and it was a fun match. Let me tell you, that Chiefland offense, they started off the game, and it was kind of scary. You couldn't quite see from there where it was the fumble, but they were driving immediately. And then their defense was the first team that I've seen that truly matches up with Bluntstown up front. their offensive line was starting the game. They were knocking that Bluntstown defensive line around. That one that is normally dominating, but they held it together. They kept their composure, and then there's some big plays like this one here. They just got it done, and they weren't rattled. They went down 7-0. They weren't rattled. They kept it, low scoring in the first half. There's this crazy interception here where you think they're going to come back and score.
I know that scared me in the highlights because I was like, no, what do you mean they got an interception here? Bluntstown has to win, right?
They were playing so well and so sound, and things were going the way, and then obviously that catch there by Mr. Jordan Bryan, that was just incredible.
And what I love, and for people who didn't watch Friday Night Fever, I'm already mad at you for not watching our show, but go back and watch those highlights because you'll notice that Sam says a lot of Bluntstown Tigers names in those highlights, and that is something that every week in and week out, Coach Johnson said it's what makes them stand out over every single other 1A team is that they're not just one guy. It's not a hero on the offense. It's not a hero on the defense. It's all of them. They're a true team, and why I think they deserve that number 1 spot in the rankings, why I think they'll make a deep run in the playoffs. And I'd love to see them take on Madison County and see what they can do against those Madison County team.
Right, and everybody knew coming into this match it was number 1 versus number 2. But I mean, if you saw those Tigers warming up before the game, there was no telling them.
They were warming up.
Yeah, they were warming up. That was
funny.
But anyway. Lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
This team, they're like we're the top team out here.
I think they have that confidence. Like every time I see them, they just have that confidence. And ever since that Holmes County game, right, where they turned around and Coach Johnson said this. He said that after that Holmes County loss, that was devastating for this team. So they turned around. They had a great week of practice, and they've just been rolling over every opponent since then. So honestly, I think. I hate to say this, but I think that Holmes County loss really fueled the fire. Really said, you know what? We're going to go out and we're going to win. We're going to win out the rest of the season, and we're going to show everybody who's boss. They're now North Florida League champions again because back in 2019, they were the North Florida League champions as well. So Bluntstown now is the only team to have that championship twice. So I think I said in 2019 when Emma was here, and she was like, Courtney, this Bluntstown team, we're so excited about them. And this year I feel the same way. I'm so excited to see what this Tigers team can do in the playoffs.
No, you're right. And we mentioned, 3 games in a row. It went number 4, number 3, and now number 1 in RPI rankings. And they're not just beating them, as we mentioned earlier tonight. Now, quick math.
It's not like they're taking them to overtime.
57-point differential in those last 3 games.
Yeah.
Between those 3 opponents, the 4, 3, and the 1, a 57-point differential. I mean, that's a good football team.
Listen, that stat speaks for itself. I don't know if we need to convince anybody anymore. Just hearing that, how good this Tigers team is. I think early prediction, said it last week, said it the week before, this Bluntstown team does go far in the playoffs, and I'd love to see. I cannot wait to see who they match up with. I just cannot wait to see the path that they take to, possibly a state title game.
Right, and I was talking to Coach Johnson before the game, and he was just talking to me about, his group of seniors who he said have just been so resilient. He said they were freshmen when the hurricane.
Sorry, everybody. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. Our computer crashed here completely and made us go offline for a little bit. But now we're back. We thought we would come back on because we weren't really completely finished with our thoughts, and we want to just kind of wrap things up for you for the last week of the regular season. John Miller asked, what does the win for Bozeman do? Well, it puts them a really good, they're going to make the playoffs.
Right.
I think I pretty much say they're going to make the playoffs. But it just depends now where they're going to be ranked in the playoffs. It just depends where they're going to end up, who they're going to face in that first round. Not all teams, like I said at the beginning of the last broadcast, not all teams are done playing yet. They're in South Florida, Central Florida, Jacksonville, Tallahassee. There was a bit of bad weather tonight with the rains coming through. We didn't get super affected by it if you're in, Panama City or if you were in Walton or anything like that. But if you're in those areas, you were affected by it. We saw in the Freeport highlights, they were in Mayo tonight taking on Lafayette. It was just a complete downpour. So that's obviously affected certain teams. Some teams have moved their games back to Saturday. So that what that means is we don't know completely what the RPI rankings are right now. That's why these teams get until Sunday to finish those games up, right? They get until that day to finish those games up, and then Sunday those final playoff brackets go up because it affects it, right? I mean, if you played a team, right, and that team plays a better ranked team and then beats that better ranked team, that could affect your RPI ranking. It's all about strength of schedule and your opponent's strength of schedule. So that all goes into play. So that's why all those people, a lot of games got canceled. Yes, John, I saw a few postponements to Saturday. So that's why I'm just saying this. A lot of games canceled, a lot of games, a few games postponed. So we are saying that just because we want to let people know that's why we're not going on here and saying this is who your team is taking on in the playoffs based off what me and Sam have worked out from the current RPI rankings. We like to wait until Sunday, until they're official, so the FHSAA hasn't done anything weird and totally made what we said on the show not real. So
right, and I promise if you have patience with me and need to know the full layout, I will have it on Sunday. Mm-hmm. I will post it online at mypanhandle.com. I will tell you the matchups. I'll tell you the brackets. I will tell you everything.
Look, Sam,
I don't know yet, but it's coming.
Sam
I promise.
has got it all for you, so we will
I'm a man of my word.
So we will have those playoff matchups. But to be fair, I do kind of want to talk about with you really quickly, Sam, before we, kind of say goodnight to everybody, because I think we talked a little bit about South Walton, a little bit about Bluntstown tonight, talked a little bit about some of the other games that we covered this evening. But I do want to ask you, who do you kind of have circled to watch in the playoffs? Who do you kind of pin in to watch?
We clearly have Bluntstown and Port St. Joe,
yep.
Sneads, all these teams that won, those SSAC. Watch out for the Chipley Tigers.
I know.
They are now 7-3, and all three of their losses are to opponents of larger school. Monroe and who is the Escambia Academy.
Yeah, Escambia Academy.
And Walton.
Yeah.
And a very tight overtime, loss to Walton, 21-20. I mean, that is a very physical squad, and I think they can compete with just about any of these other 1A schools.
Yeah, I sneaky think that Chipley may surprise everyone because of that record. That 7-3 record on paper doesn't look as nice and shiny as Bluntstown's, one-loss record. And so I think you're right. I think you're completely right. They're a team that we really need to circle. We need to keep an eye on because I think they sneaky could win a lot of games, and people are going to go, wait, who are these Chipley Tigers? Why are they ranked so low?
Right, and Bozeman down there in the Gulf Coast Cup bracket,
yep.
back-to-back weeks, blew out their competition.
Yeah.
They Brantford last week and then this week Williston. Blowing them out. I wasn't at either of those games. We saw the highlights from last week. We didn't see them from this week. But, they seem to be kind of hitting a stride right now.
They got the Carpenter brothers. That's a dynamic duo on offense and defense. So
right. And then Sneads, man. I haven't seen them play in person in a few weeks, but they are so physical.
Yeah.
Their offense line is huge. They make the run game easy. Tonight they got a very, very nice win over a very strong Liberty County.
Yeah, very strong Liberty County that was on a win streak, doing well with a hot run. But Sneads, with their best player going down earlier in the year, I just didn't know what the Pirates were going to do. I just kind of was like, how are they going to respond? How are they going to rebound? Well, their rebound was going on I think it was, if I'm counting right, 7-game win streak now? 7-game win streak? That's pretty impressive.
I believe they were 2-2. And then they've won out since then.
Yes,
because they started off the year. I believe they went 2-0 and then lost to. I could be wrong about that.
It was 2 teams.
But we were like, who Sneads? And then they had some injuries and lost a couple games, and then they've picked up that momentum. They are rolling. They are snowballing.
Yeah.
They're just,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, huge win at Liberty County tonight. A very strong team that also is on a huge, 7-8 game win streak.
It's
a tough Pirates game.
No, the 1A, Class 1A is a tough class to play in. Class 1A is the best football in the state of Florida. You can count on that. I genuinely think it's the funnest to watch, and I cannot wait to see what all those teams do in the postseason. John says the region that Chipley is in helps make a deep run. I agree with you, John, that Chipley does have a region that they can beat. That they're very capable of making a deep run because of that region. I agree completely. 14 seniors hungry in Chipley. Yeah, Chad Allgood. Highlights from the Rutherford game.
Mr. Interception.
Mr. Interception. All right, let's go. Let's run those highlights. I'm going to show them for Chad there. Now I got. Sorry, I'm laughing a little bit because I was so cold in this game. My fingers were about to fall off, and I know the fans out there, they were faithful because the announcer, Steve Moss, came up and said, it feels like 46 folks out here tonight. So at first of this Rutherford Bay game, I didn't know what to expect because there was a lot of penalties. There were 10 total in the first half and a lot of interceptions as well. I think 4 turnovers in the first half alone. And so we're going to see that because Allgood does have a nice interception here. That obviously, this touchdown called back. Look, like I said, penalties. Both teams getting penalties tonight. So I'm waiting for that interception because I think that's what Chad Allgood wants to see, right? I think that's what the interception that he wants to see here. I think it's coming up right. No. But there you go, another interception. Like I said, 4 turnovers, lots of turnovers. I didn't see the second half of this game, but I hope it was a little bit less of the turnover craziness that there was. But to be fair, Allgood not only had this interception here. Woo, that's jumping, that snag. He got some air on that one, folks. Oh, my goodness. That was amazing. And not only did he have that interception, but he also had an interception to seal the game for Rutherford because Bay was driving. Rutherford was up 10-7 after a field goal from Jonathan Walker. So Bay driving, trying to get something going in the last moments, but nope. There he was. Another interception, 2 of the night, and the second one much more important because it sealed the win for the Rams and put him for a good case.
A good spot.
Put them for a good case in the playoffs. They needed to win that North Bay Haven game, and they needed to win this Bay game to make a case to be put in the playoffs. And I think they do make their case after tonight's game.
Right. And I also do want to give out, since, he is on the stream, Chad Allgood, I want to give a big shout out to you and Kiara over there, the senior class SGA this week. They provided breakfast or lunch. Breakfast, I believe it was, for the Mosley seniors this week who are off.
That's awesome.
And in honor of Avery and, just brothers and sisters helping each other out here in the Panhandle. That was, I love that. That's something that, we may be rivals, but, we take care of one another. And that was something that I saw earlier this week. And just big shout out to the Rutherford senior class, the SGA that is, and Chad Allgood leading the way over there.
No, I love that. I love that completely. Did Mosley not play? Yes, Mosley did not play this week. They scheduled their bye week pretty strategically, right? They play all through the season. They play 10 games nonstop, no bye. Then they have that bye week coming in week 11 to get ready for the postseason, which I think was very strategic and very smart on Mosley's part. So. Right,
and I'm seeing, we gave Chad his request for the highlights, and I see Chad in the highlights once, Alcethony McGee's touchdown for Chipley. Can we pull the Chipley highlights up? Because I will say this was a very, worthy play. Not this is a good play here by Harrison Agason, but the next one you got to watch out for because that one was so much fun to watch. Alcethony McGee, the Marshall commit, back in his hometown at Chipley. And just wait just a second, you'll see it. But this play was so much fun to watch.
I love that for Friday Night Fever Afterburn Part 2. We're just like, we'll show you those highlights.
You want to see it? Yeah, come on, look at this. There goes one. Whoop, throws that guy. What?
And stiff arms this one, right? Doesn't know.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
sorry, get off me, sir.
Yes, he
Touchdown.
does. Oh goodness. How many guys did he take down on that touchdown run? 1? Okay, 2. The body count is 2 there. Boom. Oh, Not going to happen today. Oh, that's awesome.
That
was
he's
awesome.
Been so explosive to watch. And I saw another comment earlier talking about DeQuavius Sori, being a big part of their team this year. He got a
huge
couple
part of their
touchdowns.
team.
He's somebody that you can put him at receiver, a running back, a quarterback. He'll toss the ball to their guys, and he's the Georgia commit, the 4-star, and he's not to be messed around.
Our camerawoman got knocked down by
got hit here, but there's Quavo's touchdown there, as his
I love
teammates
it.
call him, Quavo Sori. He is an absolute animal on both offense and defensive side of the ball. Like we said, Chipley, you got to watch out for him this year. But yes, I know we're kind of running long right now, but did want to throw those highlights in as requested.
Yes, as requested. Listen, we're the people's people. We're for the people.
We are for the people. In Chipley.
In Chipley and everywhere, honestly, the entirety of the Panhandle. I say all the time at the end of the season, and you guys know this, people are like, oh, you guys have so much passion for all the teams you covered. Yeah, because we genuinely want all of them to win, and it feels very conflicting when they're playing each other. So.
Right. I was talking to Bluntstown, Josh Pope, his father, tonight. I met him in person.
Awesome.
And that was one thing that I was saying is, once I, am covering a couple of your games and I'm getting to know your athletes and getting to know these guys in person, then it becomes more than just, I'm covering this team. It's, I know this guy. I know this guy. I know this young man. They know me. I'm talking to him before and after the games. I'm genuinely rooting for every Panhandle team, want them to make a run because, we're for them.
Yeah, we're for them.
Not just for the team. We're for the players. We're for they're people just like us.
Oh, yeah. And
we love them.
Yeah, we love them all. So genuinely lovely. Go Rutherford. Yep, the Rams won tonight. Chad, you are so welcome. And Chad, both Chads, Chad Bracken, Chad Allgood,
yeah, they got me
you're
confused
welcome.
for a second.
What?
That got me confused. I was like, wait,
yeah,
which
I know.
Chad
I
are
was
we
like, which
giving the
Chad am I
highlights
talking
to?
about? Coach Olds, thank you as well. I talked to Coach Olds on the sideline tonight. Always appreciate talking to him and breaking down some football with him as well. I think that's everything we have to talk about. Again, I just want to reiterate that we will have those playoff brackets, the finalized, the official, not what you heard from your cousin down the street, not what somebody predicts online. No, we will have the official playoff brackets on Sunday. Sam, once he gets them, he will disperse them to you guys as soon as he does, because I know that's what everyone wants to hear about. That's what everyone wants to talk about, and we will have that for you on Sunday.
That's right. Be patient. I will provide. Believe me.
He will.
He will.
And
where can we find the highlights?
it's Spencer, our producer, asked, where can you find the highlights from tonight? Well, Spencer, I'm so glad you asked. I know you want to see some of those interceptions, those big plays once again, and you can rewatch them to your heart's content on mypanhandle.com. You can go to that local sports tab and then click on Friday Night Fever, and all of them will be posted. We actually work here until about midnight getting them online for you guys. So we hope you enjoy them. We hope you watch them and rewatch them and show your friends. So.
Right. It's been a fun week.
Yeah.
It's playoff time.
It's playoff
It is
time.
coming. We have a lot of great teams looking to make some good runs.
I think,
Let's
listen,
see.
I
We'll have
don't
to wait and see.
I don't want to say it too soon, but I really hope that we get a Panhandle team in a state championship this year.
I think there's a good chance.
I think there's a good chance too.
Maybe more than one.
Maybe more than one. And I don't want to say that too early, but maybe more than one. So, hey, we appreciate, as always, you guys for watching, tuning in. Sorry about our little bit of technical difficulties. We promise we won't have those again in the future. But we appreciate you guys for tuning in, sticking around, and staying with us until 11:15, 11:20 on your Friday night. And we'll see you next week for some playoff action. Am I right, Sam?
Playoffs. They are coming soon.
Yeah, they're calling. The playoffs are on the phone. They're calling right now. Do you hear it?
Another A+ joke over there.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We'll see you guys next week. That's it for us tonight. You have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.